I'm back. How's it going? This is William Sensei again. So here live from Tokyo, Japan. I know it's been a while, but I hope you enjoyed the Olympics. It took place from the 23rd until August 8th. And as you know, I was an official Olympic volunteer for the Tokyo 2020 Games. But today, we're going to do a little Paralympics special and give you an update on what I did for the 2020 Olympics. So, let's go. Alright, so hey, yes indeed, I've gotten many requests to tell you about what actually I did during the Olympic Games. So, as they say, pictures are worth more than 1,000 words. So I'm going to show you a little picture roll here of various things that you can see from my support duty, which was at the Saitama Super Arena for the basketball, men and women's. So let's take a look. Okay, so hope you enjoyed some of those pictures, and what I can do is explain a little bit, about some other things. But honestly, since there were so many current NBA players and WNBA players at the games, honestly, I'm from the old school, so I didn't know a lot of the newer players, to tell you the truth. But of course, the older ones I could pick out quite easily, like Paulo Gasol of Spain and Kevin Durant of the United States, if he's been in the past 3 Olympics, right? And very interesting, on the women's Olympic team for China, they had as an assistant Mr. Yao Ming. Yes, he was the first I guess Asian and first Chinese basketball player to make it to the NBA, and I must say, oh my gosh, I think he was the biggest man I have ever seen in my life. I mean, he is tall, he is built, I mean really tall. I mean, he's walking down the hallway here and his head is almost hitting the ceiling of the walkway. So I mean, he was bigger than any of the current NBA players. That's how big he was, and tall, and he seemed like a pretty nice guy. I waved to him; he was nice, but we were not allowed to try and talk to players or get autographs and signatures and that type of thing. So they try to keep it really professional in that respect. So in my duty, I was in the sports information and also the FIBA lounge, so both of those have to deal with the managers, the player management, so we got to meet a lot of the coaches and the assistants, and sometimes the players would come into our area, but very rarely. But we were right by the players' locker room, so I mean, I could see the players going by on and off the court. Halftime they'd come back, and then we would have to prepare the food. That they would order lunches because they're at the Olympic Village. They could eat, but then they're far away from the Olympic Village, so if they really wanted some food or some drinks, that type of thing, they have to contact us, and then they would order. So then we would prepare these little mini lunches and send them to the locker rooms, or the representative would come and pick it up, take it into the locker room. So that's sort of some of the things that I did. And then the FIBA lounge, which I showed you some pictures of, that's just a huge area for the FIBA, which is the organizing body of the basketball, right? And they just had basically a lounge for their executives, and you're pretty much just watching the games. So they also had the Olympic broadcasting channel, which is made by the Olympic OBS, I believe. And so it's a direct feed from any event that is taking place, any sporting event taking place. So it's really cool. So it's like direct cable, like feed, and we could see everything. So any sport you wanted that's on at the time, just go to a channel, boom. So that was cool at the FIBA lounge. So there a couple days, but mostly for sports information. All right. Now, so if you didn't know, I'm going to put up final medalists for both men and women, of course. What did I get from Team USA? Yes, a nice hat. Nice little Team USA little flag thingy. I guess you can put it on some clothes or something. I don't know. At the FIBA lounge, what I forgot to say. So they gave these really cool information booklets for the media guides. So it's got all of the teams and players information. So that was really nice. So you get to know who we're dealing with. And also same thing for the women's media guide. So very nice. Oh, and one other thing. He had to make these nice little ukiyo-e, like wood block prints in small form for both the men and women. So these are really nice for the traditional Japanese prints, and for every team they were made. So we would distribute these out for the women, and we would distribute these out to anybody who wants it from the team or the managers. So it's a nice little gift. And so we were doing a lot of cutting cutting these things out and laminating, but it was fun. From the winners, you know who won, right? USA for both men and women. So we'll see in 2024 who can possibly overtake the United States in basketball. Let's see, the 3 coolest things for being a volunteer. This I can show this to you now. We couldn't be able, so this is my official volunteer pass, or your official Olympic pass. So without this, you can't get into any of the events, you can't get past security. So this is what was needed, and they weren't allowed to show while the games were up. But since the games are over, it's okay. But the very cool thing was, after the first 3 days of the Olympics, we sort of get our little bronze medal pin. So this is, see here, is a bronze medal pin of Someti and Mirai Toa, right? After 3 days. After 5 days of volunteering, we would get a silver pin. And I will show that to you here. This is a silver pin, only for field cast. That was really cool. And after 7 days of volunteering, we get our gold medal pin. So this is our gold medal pin here. Really nice. And if you were fortunate to work over 10 days, I would throw up a picture. I forgot to wear it, but I get a watch. So you get a watch made by Swatch, the Tokyo Olympic watch. So that was really cool. And some other special things I got, other pins. I got a nice little FIBA pin from the one of the FIBA executives. And we also got a arigato pin, thank you, from Mr. Bach. So Mr. Bach gave us this arigato pin for working the Olympics. Yeah, so that's that. So the volunteer pins is really cool. The volunteer watch is cool. And I think that probably the top thing for being a volunteer, because there was no spectators, we were the only ones allowed to actually be in the arena to watch the games, besides the press. So that was quite of a privilege, and some of them we could see quite close up and get close to the court. So that was quite exciting. And of course, for Japan, the Japanese women's team was very good, and they went all the way up to the gold medal game. Unfortunately, couldn't beat the USA, but they played really well. And seeing them make it to that gold medal game, I got to work on the game where they got to the gold medal game, and boy, it was crazy. Yeah, everyone was like cheering, and that was the one of the days they said, oh, you were allowed to cheer. Before, we weren't allowed to clap or do anything. But that game, they released the restrictions. Oh, please clap. So they were all in for the Japan team. So it was great to see. The players were really nice. I got to meet a lot of the ladies. So very cool team members. So looking forward to them continuing on their high level basketball for 2024 Paris Games. All right. Yes. Okay. And that will be my volunteer duty update for you. Okay. So let's move on to the Paralympics. Let's go. Now, without further ado, Somati, take it away. Yes. So welcome to the Tokyo 2020 Paralympic Games. The opening ceremony will be held tonight at 8 p.m. Pan Standard Time. So that is about 4 hours from now. And so that'll be also at the Olympic Stadium. So if you've watched the opening ceremonies of the 2020 Olympic Games, it's the same venue. Of course, there will be no spectators allowed, unfortunately. And I will do a quick news update later. So if you don't know anything about the Paralympics, please view my special that was on July 3rd. It's the 20th day of the countdown, and I talk all about Ludwig Gutmann, why he started the games, and all the meanings of the symbols and everything. So check that out. Now, interesting thing about the Paralympics is there are only 2 Paralympic sports that don't have an Olympic counterpart. That is Bokoa and goalball. For all of the other events, which there are 22 total, which would be 20 of these events, have a base in the Olympic Games. So, as I mentioned, there's 22 total sports. That is consisting of 539 events in 21 venues. So I believe in Tokyo we have about 4,400 Paralympians coming into Tokyo. So they should pretty much all be here by now, and they are staying at the Olympic Village. For the most part, there are no outlying sports outside of Tokyo. They're all in Tokyo this time around. Now, which sports will be featured at the Paralympics? Let me just give you a list. So you've got archery, athletics, badminton, bokoa, canoe sprint. We have cycling road, cycling track. We have equestrian, football 5-a-side, goalball, judo, powerlifting, rowing, shooting, sitting volleyball, swimming, table tennis, and new for the Tokyo 2020 is taekwondo. We have triathlon, wheelchair basketball, wheelchair fencing, wheelchair rugby, which is quite fierce, and wheelchair tennis. I did forget to mention badminton is also a first for the Tokyo Paralympics. Now, interesting facts about the Tokyo Paralympics. Tokyo is the only country to have held these games twice. Yes, because the first one was 1964, and this is the 2020 version. Yes, one thing I must say, I must give it up to all the athletes who have overcome their physical challenges to compete in various sports and to be able to be the best in the world, right? This has and will be giving hope to current and future generations, and I do look forward to seeing these amazing people give it their all for their peers and their countries. So I am definitely very excited and looking forward to seeing many of these Paralympians and their Paralympic sports, and we wish them all be safe and give it their best. So with that, let me give you a quick news update since it's been a while. As people thought, going back to the Olympics, they thought it'd be a super spreader event. So fortunately, it was not. Yes. So even I didn't believe it, but even I thought it would probably be a super spreader event. There's no way they contain it, but I must give it up to the protocols and the playbooks. They pretty much stomped anything from getting spread out to the Japanese population. It was the reverse. It was the more Japanese who had the COVID that were possibly giving it to the athletes. I think there was a total of 529 confirmed cases. Only 150 or so were actual athletes and or coaches, staff. The others were Japanese. So that's a pretty good numbers when you think there was over 78,000 people that came in for the Olympics. So it's a very low percentage, which was good. On the opposite side, now if you didn't know, Japan, I guess from the week before the Olympics started, the numbers were on a rise, right? And if you go back and watch my news reports. So during the Olympics, the numbers kept on going up. And it's summertime, and people want to go out, see their friends. It's been, last summer people couldn't do anything. Now it's another summer. So I believe that's the big kicker. The people in 20s are the ones, 20s and 30s, pushing the numbers up. So of course, Tokyo, we had a record just last Friday of almost 6,000 cases. It was 5,700 and something. So it's hard to keep, because they keep breaking records. So that's the current news update. So the whole country now is thinking about having a lockdown situation like they've done in many countries, but Japan officially has never done a lockdown. We've only done these state of emergencies, which ask the people not to go out, but it's not forcing people. It's not like a law where you cannot go out and do things. And they can only put restrictions on the restaurants and department stores to close down. So now they're thinking about having a real lockdown, and a lot of the governors are asking for this because it's just getting out of control. The bed situation for the hospitals is pretty much overflowing. So they're asking people to stay home and basically self-heal yourself until they can get you in a bed. So yeah, it is tough. So like William Sensei always tried to tell you, you get mask up, wash your hands. Why? To keep the COVID out of your system? Well, people weren't listening to me, so now lots of people got the COVID. So that's all you can really do. You just gotta stay safe. Don't meet up with your friends and family. You know, that's how you spread it, people to people. You can't get it any other way, right? So, you know, just keep the mask on and wash your hands. Stay away, you know, a little bit longer, and hopefully we can all get back to some sort of new normal of this. All right, so that is all, and I hope you enjoy the rest of the next 13 days of the Paralympic Tokyo 2020 Games, and wishing you all wishing you all to be safe and healthy, and hopefully we can have a secure Paralympic Games, and we're looking forward to saying hello again to you in the near future. Okay, so this has been William Sensei live from Japan. Take care. Bye bye.